She ended up getting a scholarship, full scholarship to a university in the United States and did her studies and played tennis. And I mentioned that because your subtopic of today's Women's Day International Festa here is the vocational dimension. Okay, so there's somebody whose studies were fostered by sports. Second woman was a psychologist in Delhi who had a master's from Jamia Millia and did not go to Bangalore to do the doctorate. And I met her at the American Center, and she said, well, I want to do advanced studies in the United States. I said, well, I live in France, but why don't you come to France? So she did. We taught her French, and she did a psychotherapy program in brief therapy out of the Mental Research Institute in Palo Alto. I've done the same program, and she was not satisfied with that, and so we got her into a doctoral program, and she did a doctoral studies in medical anthropology in Aix-en-Provence at the university. And of all the doctors, anthropologists, and everybody in the course, it took 2 years to do an intermediate diploma. She did it in 1 year, and she got very high mention, and she returned to India. She did not pursue the thesis because she got saturated with epistemology, if you know what I mean. She loves the joke. She loves the joke about how many philosophers are there in France. You know, French are really philosophical and do their universities and are, you know, I've studied with them, I've interrelated with them, I know what they're talking about. No, I don't know what they're talking about, but they're pretty bright. And so how many philosophers are there in France? What's the population of France? She loves that joke. Well, there's 65 million philosophers in France. And the third person is an Indian woman who came and visited us with her daughter in France. The daughter got interested in French. She became probably number 2 in her school in French, and then the mother finally got interested in French, and she became very high level at Alliance Française and did a couple of diplomas and then got raises in her salary at one of the schools in Delhi. Those are my 3 contributions to vocational training of India's women. Thank you very much and have a good Women's Day.
For your wonderful keynote address. We are sure all of us will gather new topics out of your lecture with a view to really discussing about the main theme, which is vocationalizing women's careers. The idea is to vocationalize your careers, and how shall we do it will be discussed in the brainstorming session. Now is the time for lighting of the traditional Indian wire lamp. We have the special representative from Namibia in West Africa, and Madam Violet Hanse is the first secretary there. So we have the proud privilege of requesting her to come and light the lamp, and she will be assisted by all of us. May I call upon Dr. Gregory to kindly come and help us in lighting the lamp. Please come. Please come. From this side. Yes. Those standing, please come first. Everybody will have the time to light the lamp. Come in groups of 6 persons. Please come. Ajay. 6 आदमी आइए. international dignitaries, our representatives from Nigeria, as well as from Namibia. So we have great pleasure in announcing the names. First award is for Kendriya Vidyalaya, Lodi Road. Please come. All the teachers and the students, please come. Kendriya Vidyalaya, Lodi Road. Principal Madam Sharma and all her colleagues, the students, please come and receive the award. Kendriya Vidyalaya. Please come. You have to give. Please come. Please come. Please. Give the award. Kendriya Vidyalaya, NTPC, Badarpur. Let's give a big hand. Kendriya Vidyalaya, NTPC, Badarpur. God-centric Education and Training Award goes to Kendriya Vidyalaya, NTPC, Badarpur. And your teachers, students? Or you are alone? Oh, please come, right? Kendriya Vidyalaya number 2, Delhi Kant. Kendriya Vidyalaya number 2, Delhi Kant, Gurgaon Road, New Delhi. Please come. Next award is for Kendriya Vidyalaya number 4, Delhi Kant, Delhi. Kendriya Vidyalaya number 4, Delhi Kant. Somebody is there? Friends, we have great pleasure in welcoming the lauded Ambassador of Venezuela, Excellency Mr. Augusto Montiel. Please give a big hand. Please give a big hand. Friends, may I request Dr. Abhilasha Trivedi, who is a special awardee today, to kindly offer flowers to Our Excellency, the Ambassador of Venezuela. Friends, we have great pleasure in welcoming the special representative of Namibia, Madam Violet Hanse. We have great pleasure in inviting Ms. Varuni Dhawan, who is the co-convener of this summit, to offer flowers to Madam Violet. Two special representatives from Nigeria, the Honorable Minister, Madam Abbas. We have been longing to meet her, and we are pleased to invite Dr. Tanuja Trivedi, the convener of this important summit, to offer flowers to Madam. We call upon Ms. Neelam Joshi. Please offer flowers to the other diplomat of Nigeria. Now is the time for the welcome address. The first item on the agenda is the welcome address by Dr. Tanuja Trivedi, Director of the Women's Agency for Generating Employment and convener of the Women's Summit. Please offer the welcome address.
Chancellors, Vice Chancellors, Principals, Deans, Heads of Departments, Teachers, Students, Activists, Awardees, Media Personnel, Ladies and Gentlemen. First of all, I would like to welcome each one of you on the auspicious occasion of the United Nations International Women's Day as well as World Women's Summit being held for the first time in our country. All of you are aware that Women's Agency for Generating Employment has organized this summit with the active cooperation of different ministries, departments, public and private sector organizations, universities, colleges, schools, besides regulatory, planning, promotional and entrepreneurial bodies. I would like to thank them all for their continued cooperation. During the past 28 years, since the inception of the Women's Agency for Generating Employment, many milestones have been reached, but main achievement is that a 50-volume World Encyclopedia on Women's Development has been brought out by our organization for the first time in the world. A 50-volume encyclopedia. Now, the idea is to ensure that specialized and tailor-made training and development programs are designed at the school, college and university levels. For example, vocationalization of careers for women, ecofeminism, entrepreneurship, training for women, role of women in media, women and sustainable agriculture, role of women in spiritual development and interfaith studies. Besides preparation of a competent cadre of young women professionals who will take care of the steps to be taken for mitigation of disastrous effect of crime against women, violence against women, strengthening the cause of women's education, health, economic conditions, etc. The Women's Agency for Generating Employment has decided to launch a district-wise development program in association with the representative of district administrations for ensuring the speedy skill development of women depending on the local conditions and the availability of trainers, appropriate technologies and raw materials for developing a foolproof model so that the same can be replicated in other districts, states and union territories. It will be a pleasure for our organization to transfer our appropriate technologies to other countries in general and to the countries which are represented on the function on this summit today by signing a memorandum of understanding with the respective countries for joining hands to ensure women's development in an optimal manner in all countries of the world and for ensuring women's equality by the year 2030. International Women's Day is a time to reflect on the progress made, to call for change and to celebrate act of courage and determination by